Good morning, everyone. Rick here. I am in Wellington, Kansas. More specifically, I am here for the 120th Kansas Wheat Festival. It is about 7:15 a.m. this morning on Saturday, July the 12th. I'm parking on a side street. I've learned over the years that's just the safest way to park. I'm right up against a little alleyway. That way nobody can park ahead of me and block me in. That's usually what I do. I'm currently on the corner of Harvey and Birch Streets. I am getting ready to go to the American Legion. It's just a block or so down for their breakfast this morning. Their breakfast goes from 7 a.m. I don't know until, I can't remember, 9 or 10 a.m. They have a pretty good breakfast. It's supposed to be all you can eat. I just usually go up once. But if you've watched my channel at all, you know that I am a real big car nerd. I'm here for the car show, basically. Now, there will be other activities going on. There's going to be a milk demonstration, milking a cow demonstration. There's going to be some wheat thrashing demonstration. And there's going to be some others. Now, portions of this video today might have to be muted. I know for a fact the car show will. They always play very loud copyrighted music. But the other events probably won't have to be. I know I didn't do that. I don't think I did that last year. But when I get it all put together, it'll be all right. I'll put a music behind the car show. Non-copyrighted, YouTube approved music on that. The rest of it, I am really going to try to just use a normal a video if I can. We're almost to the American Legion. It's supposed to open up at 7, so we will see. Hopefully it will be. And all these activities take place right over here in this park, right across the street from the American Legion. They've got a museum over here, and I've been through the museum. It's really pretty cool little museum. I love that building. That's just a really cool old building. They've got a train sitting over here. And we're going to kind of walk around. Oh, they've got a new building over there that wasn't there last year. That's interesting. Okay. I'm literally walking down the middle of the street right now. But there's virtually no traffic at all right now. So I think with that said, I'm going to go in rather, and grab me some breakfast. And then when I'm done, I will continue to walk around a little bit. So come on along and follow me today. Yeah, here's the VFW building right here. It's really a very nice, I've been coming here for years and years and years and years and years. I try to attend this every year. We've had a very rainy summer. I'm kind of disappointed. I know we need the rain, but I think we're at the point now where we could probably slack off on the rain for a while. But there's the VFW right over there. Then here's the Panhandle Railroad Museum. Is right over there. Then that's where we're at this morning. I think it's going to hold off for the majority of the day. This evening it may start raining again, but I'll be long gone out of here by this evening. Boy, that truck was flying. This is only like 30 miles an hour through here. It's going 45 at least. That's crazy. People drive crazy. Now they have a VFW breakfast second Saturday of the month here, this VFW, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. You get sausage, biscuits, gravy, scrambled eggs, hash browns, juice, and coffee. And I think that's about what you get here. There's some of the stuff I can't have anymore, but I'll at least get the scrambled eggs. I might get and the sausage and probably some juice. But at any rate, yeah, we're literally sitting right outside the front door. So we'll be back. I'll be back momentarily. We're going to go and have. I'm going to go. I keep saying we. I'm by myself today. Um, I'm going to go have some breakfast, and then we'll continue on later on here in just a little bit. So we'll see you all here in after a while. Okay, I just got through having breakfast, and I would like to show you what the inside of their VFW hall looks like um, here this morning. I did ask first, and make sure it's okay to film in here, and they said it was. So that's what I'm going to do. Just kind of go around here and do a little video in here. And this is interesting. This chair is interesting. But here's the American flag with soldiers lined up. Kind of like they got soldiers for the stars and stripes. I've never seen that before. That's just pretty cool. Just little soldiers. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I think this is where they do their bingo back here. Just hope I don't lose my way here. Now I really like that. That's really cool. Yeah, but this is it. This is where I had breakfast this morning. It's very, very, very quiet right now. I like to get places early, and that way you can, have your breakfast and it's not horribly packed. But it is really early yet. But yeah, I told them I would just do a portion or part of the VFW Hall here in Wellington, Kansas. Okay. This is their bar area. Probably where they have their meals and that sort of thing. They have, that looks like an aircraft helmet. It's kind of dark in here. Oh no, I like that. That's really cool. I like that. And then here's different kinds of patches. Airborne patch. Thunderbird patch is right there. Sunflower patch with a tornado. That's a Kansas Army National Guard patch. I know I was a member there for 11 years. There in Winfield and other places while I was in. There's the Purple Heart patch. I think that's the 101 Airborne maybe. There's another Purple Heart. There's Ranger. Airborne right there. Staff Sergeant. And just all different kind of patches and medals and that sort of thing. Yep. I was in the Kansas Army National Guard for 11 years. Yeah, so I know the American Legion in Winfield has a bar area with they look similar to this. You can, but their meals are Monday through Friday from 11 to 2, and it's open to the public there. Well, I think with that said, we're going to go ahead and go on out of here and walk around a little bit outside. Just got to find my way out of here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow and go. Don't be bumping.
Okay. Okay. Well, all right. We're going to go ahead and get out here. Thank you all very much. Okay. All right. Boy, howdy. It felt good in there, but it's kind of muggy out today. Of course, we've had a lot of rain. I think this has been the rainiest summer I can remember in a long time. There's a Polaris. These are super nice. I would love to have one of these Polaris Rangers. Look at that. That's a four-door now. They got a back seat. I like that. That is really sharp. But I don't think these things are very cheap either.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I couldn't afford one. I know I couldn't afford one.
It'd be nice and a lot of fun though, wouldn't
It would be.
Yeah.
I like the seats in here too. They're really nice. Yeah, these are really cool. I'd love to have one of those, but they're very expensive. We got a police car over there doing some red lights on. Okay, well, we're just going to kind of walk around now. I've had breakfast, and see, it's getting more and more busy, and I got there just at the right time, I think. It's starting to get a little busy. Well, let's just kind of walk around here a little bit. We've got all morning. Hopefully the rain will hold out for us here this morning. They were very, very friendly in there, very gracious. The food was very good, but it always is. They have a good breakfast. Oh, here's some cactus. Look at this. These folks have some cactus. Oh, that's really cool. I've never thought about growing cactus. You see, there's another one. That's pretty cool. Huh. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing going on right now, but I am here early. That's all right though. I've kind of got this thing about getting places early. I've always been that way my whole life. If I'm going to go somewhere or be somewhere, I want to be there early. Well, let's walk on right here a little bit. I did a video here some years back about this railroad museum. I got a a private tour, so to speak, and it's a really nice little museum if you live anywhere near Wellington, Kansas. It's just a pretty cool little festival. Now they have a parade on Friday evening. I think we went once a few years ago. I keep saying few. I don't know how long it's been. And then they have activities going on downtown. They've got a building that's got people are selling their merchandise in a building downtown. We did that here a year or two ago. We went downtown. The only problem with that is if you're going to go downtown, you either have to walk or move your car. And once you move your car, you probably lose your parking place. But I think we did it as we were leaving anyway. We went down and toured through some of the buildings that have stuff going on. There's a lot going on. It just depends on what you want to do, what you like to do, that sort of thing. Here's a canal. It's really overgrown though. Look at that. Wow. Boy. It's really kind of pretty this morning. It's so bright and green, and even though it's cloudy out this morning, I think when it's cloudy out like that, it brings out that green, Yeah. We may have to take a break here and wait for things to start happening, because I am, again, very early, but that's okay. Now, see, I've got breakfast done and out of the way. There wasn't hardly anybody in there at the time. But see, the later it gets, like it's like almost 7:50 right now a.m. And it's starting to get a little bit more busy. Not horribly bad. But another hour or two and it's going to be, but I don't know. I think it'll last till 10 o'clock. Oh, okay. I knew I had not seen this before. Because like I said, I come here every year. And here's a flag and eagle. and a sign that says future site of Sumner County Veterans Memorial. Oh wow, I'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. We're only like a half an hour from Wellington, from Winfield I mean. We're about half an hour drive, so we can come in really anytime we want. But yeah, I'll have to take a picture of that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, there'll be a lot of picture taking today. So, but at any rate, yeah, hold on just a minute. I'm going to take a picture of that and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I took a few pictures of that. I'll be doing this off and on all day today. I'm going to go down and have to look at that big red and gray building that wasn't there last year. I like to do is I like to walk around, especially if it's not very busy. That's so much more pleasant. I don't mind the crowds really, but I don't know. It's just maybe more peaceful, more calm if there's hardly anybody here. But it's going to get busy. It's a very nice morning this morning. It's not hot. It's not windy. It's just a nice morning. Probably in the 70s. Very, very little wind. I know yesterday, the last couple of days, it's been really hot. But we're not, having said that though, we're not really having a typical summer. It might get up to almost 100. But normally we're having like over 100. Now, you know what? I've been coming to this museum for years and years and years. And I didn't notice the back wall of this is a different kind of stone. I have never noticed that before. That is interesting. Look at that. Check that out. Huh. Well, I'll be into funny. It's the little things. Sometimes, that catches your eye. Well, that's really different. That's the very back wall of the museum. That police car is going up and down side streets with their red and blue lights on. I don't know if they're looking for somebody. They're probably looking for somebody, but I have no idea. I don't have a scanner with me today. Yeah, I don't know. I saw them when I first got out of the VFW. I saw them 2 or 3 blocks down with their red lights on. Red and blue lights on, cruising up and down these streets. Bet you they're looking for somebody. Not siren, just the lights. But yeah. This is really calm and peaceful. This is so cool. Of course, there's nothing going on right now. But there will be here in a little bit. I'm hoping. The car show's supposed to start at right now, like it's 10 till 8. The car show officially starts at 8 a.m. I don't think there's any cars here as of yet, but I'm not worried about it. Not at all. I just love the architecture of this building. And of course, it says erected 1886. Wow. Yeah, really cool old building. You know how I am with old buildings. Old architecture is really cool. I know one year we were here, this whole area where this train was just filled full of vendors. I mean, everywhere. I don't think they have the vendors. Well, what the deal is, most of the vendors are downtown in those air-conditioned buildings. Now right here is where the milking demonstration is going to take place. Is right here. Every year it's the same place. You see they've got it all blocked off, and their big rig will set right here, and this is where I'm going to try to get the front seat, the front row there if I can. I'm going to try. I just got to be here when it starts. I have a schedule on my phone, so I have to make sure that I'm here before it starts to get a good seat. It's kind of a popular people. I guess people enjoy watching the cows get milked. Of course, they use a machine to do that with, and of course, you can walk up in to where they do where the engineer sits. And this train's been here as long as I can remember. Yep. Railroad crossing, look out for the cars. Can you say that without any R's? That's old as hills. Of course, the whole thing is they're asking, can you spell that without any R's? T-H-A-T, you know, that's kind of how that, that's old. My gosh, that's old. I can remember that way back when. I guess I could go up in this. I think we got some folks getting ready for a baseball game. They got a baseball field just right across the street over here. And that's what they're doing. Getting ready for a ball game. Wow. Well, you would have thought there might have been a few cars here this morning. I don't see any as of yet. I thought, what the heck, we'll go ahead and climb up in here before it gets busy. It's kind of dark, but this is where all the gears and everything would be to operate the train. If it's not a sunshiny day, it might have been a little bit brighter in here, but that's okay. Yeah, all kinds of gears. This is where the coal would be back here. Okay, now we're going to walk back down. Safely walk back down. Very safely. There we go. Okay. Well, let's make our way over here and check out this new building. We usually don't get this all the time. Usually I ever go to Wellington is for this Kansas Wheat Festival. There's just no real reason normally to come over here. But yeah, I'm here this morning waiting on the cars to show up. The show cars to show up, rather. Okay, well, I've got an update. Unbeknownst to me at all, I did not see this anywhere on their website. They have moved the car show. So now I've got to walk up and try to find it. And I don't know if anything else has been going on with the vendors or not. I won't know until I get out there. I've got to remember the directions I was told how to get out there. So that's where we're going. Boy, that's not good. They should have, the city of Wellington, their tourist folks, they should have posted something. I did not see anything about the car show being moved. Wow. Okay, well, I hope I can find it. That's the main reason why I'm here. I was wondering why there wasn't any cars here yet, being like after 8 o'clock. Sometimes they have they're not always on time. But I mean, there's nothing, not one car here. So they moved it. So now I've got to go try and find it, and hopefully there'll be a place to park. Wow, that's crazy. Well, hopefully it'll be early enough. I'll still be able to get a parking place. Huh. That's kind of disturbing that they would not make that. Well, if they did, I didn't know anything about it. Of course, we don't get the Wellington paper or anything about, like that. But still, they should have made that widely known. Okay, well, okay, guys, I'm going to get off here for now and see if I can find the car show. Hopefully I'll be back in a little bit and being able to find it and resume the festivities. So hopefully I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, I found the car show. Don't ask me how, but I found it. Okay. Like I already knew from going to these car shows year after year after year, I can already hear the extremely loud copyrighted music. So from this point on, it's going to be a muted video. But I'll fix it all up later when I do my editing. So, any rate, let's go ahead and get started and come along and join me with this car show out here. I am just very fortunate I found it. I still can't believe I found it, but I did. Okay, guys, well, come on, let's go, and we'll just kind of look around the cars. We'll be back in just a moment. Okay, I am back from the car show, and now I'm back down here to the park across from the American Legion. I did a video, a muted video, and I took all the pictures of the cars I could take for now. Now I am back here because I want to do that milk demonstration, cow milking demonstration, which happens at 10:15. It's currently 10 o'clock, so I got 15 minutes to spare. It's just fortunate that these two areas aren't that far apart. I mean, it didn't take 5 minutes to go from the area where the car show is back here to the park. It looks like they got the cow milking demonstration set up, and looks like it's pretty much ready to go. I think we timed that just right. I was looking at my watch and it said about 10 till 10. I thought, well, I'd better get there. And there's some other demonstrations going on, so I may be here for a little while, watch these demonstrations, and then I might go back to the car show and see if there's any new cars. But yeah, I definitely want to get over here and get my seat. Everything's worked out really good this morning, despite the fact that I completely did not know that they had moved the car show to another destination or location. But I found it, so it's all good. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to hopefully watch a demonstration. It hasn't started yet, thank goodness. This is put on by the Steam and Gas Engine Show that they have every year in Winfield, third weekend in August at the Winfield Fairgrounds. So here we are, and I think we got it. Now we're going to get right here and sit down, and we made it from the car show back here. It says live milking today at 10:15, and we've literally got 15 minutes to spare, almost 15 minutes to spare. So I'll be back when it starts. Boy, howdy, I tell you what a rush. That's all right, it's all good. I was able to make both events, so that's all good. Okay, we'll be back as soon as the live milking demonstration starts here in about 15 minutes. So we'll be back here in just a little bit.
My name is Carrie Hamilton. I am here on behalf of Southwest Dairy Farmers, here to teach you a little bit about the dairy industry, about cow care, nutrition, and I have brought along Hazel Grace. Hazel Grace is my 7-year-old Jersey cow. She lives on my farm with my family and I in Spring Hill, Kansas, and we travel all over the state of Kansas teaching about the dairy industry. There are 13 mobile dairy classrooms in the United States, so go to southwestdairyfarmers.com if you would like Hazel Grace and I to come to your school. It's absolutely free, fun, super educational, and we do travel all around the state of Kansas. So get a card or grab a bag before you go, and make sure you tell your teachers that this fall or next spring that you want Hazel Grace and I to come to your school. Free, fun, super educational. First thing I want to talk about is our balanced diet. We all need a balanced diet, and within our balanced diet are 3 to 4 or more servings of dairy. Really easy to get those servings of dairy. Drink the milk out of your cereal bowl, or adults, put whole milk in your coffee drinks. Have some string cheese or yogurt for lunch, and at the end of the day, have another glass of milk. Just 8 ounces of milk is 1 serving of dairy, and 1 serving of dairy contains 13 vitamins and nutrients. The vitamins and nutrients inside of just this much milk, 13 vitamins inside of any flavor of milk. Chocolate milk has just as many vitamins. There's just a little bit more sugar in those flavored milks, but 13 vitamins inside of just 8 ounces of milk, any flavor. When you're drinking milk and putting cheese on your sandwiches and eating yogurt and cottage cheese, you're eating and drinking vitamins like protein. Protein gives us strong, healthy muscles and helps with muscle repair. There's riboflavin inside of milk and dairy products. That gives us energy. If you're going to be walking around the fair all day long, you're going to need some energy. So get an extra glass of milk today. Milk has also been proven to be more hydrating than water. So after a long, hot day at the Wheat Festival, get yourself an extra glass of milk to keep your body healthy. When we lose our baby teeth, have you lost your baby teeth yet? Let me see. Let me see your beautiful smile. Oh, you haven't lost your baby teeth yet. One of these days you'll lose your baby teeth. And in place you'll get your big kid teeth. And those big kid teeth are your permanent teeth. Those are the teeth you're going to have for the rest of your life. You have to take care of your teeth and your bones with vitamin D and calcium found inside of milk and dairy products. So many vitamins packed inside of just 8 ounces of milk. So remember, you can always order milk in a restaurant, always use whole milk in your coffee drinks, choose real butter. So easy and so important to get those 3 to 4 or more servings of dairy every single day. Now we know milk comes from dairy cows like Hazel Grace. Hazel Grace is a Jersey cow. The Jersey cow is the second most popular dairy cow in North America. One Jersey cow can weigh up to 850 pounds, and one Jersey cow will produce about 6 gallons of milk. You can see some of the milk right there, and I'll show you how we do that here in just a little bit. Jersey cow milk is really rich and creamy. We use Jersey cow milk for things like butter and cheese and ice cream. Jersey cows make the best ice cream. The next time you have an ice cream treat, think of Hazel Grace, because yes, her milk does make the very best ice cream. Now these are the other breeds we have in North America. The one that we all know and recognize is that big black and white Holstein cow. Somebody has a sucker of a Holstein cow. The Holstein cow is the most popular dairy cow in North America. One Holstein cow can weigh up to 2,000 pounds, and one Holstein cow can produce more than 10 gallons of milk in one day. 10 gallons of milk from just one cow, making that Holstein cow the most popular dairy cow. Now these cows live on dairy farms, and every dairy farmer knows that a happy, healthy cow makes the best milk. So we do everything we can to keep our cows happy and healthy, and that starts with a balanced diet and taking care of her udder. Her udder, where her milk is stored, can only hold so much. So I have to empty her udder properly twice a day. Those big Holstein cows, we're milking them out 3 times a day to keep them healthy. So she comes in every morning. The Jerseys come in every morning for their breakfast and their morning milking, and then they come in the evening for dinner time and their evening milking. Their breakfast and their dinner on our farm here in Spring Hill, Kansas. We feed a mixture of grain. Some dairy farmers choose silage, but we choose this grain. This grain is a mixture of rolled oats. There's some cracked corn, a little bit of molasses, keeps it sweet. She gets 12 pounds of grain for breakfast, 12 pounds of grain for dinner. Throughout the day when she's in the pasture, she will nibble on hay. She can eat anywhere from 40 to 60 pounds of hay, and she'll drink about 40 gallons of water. But even though she's eating that much food, you can still see her hip bones and those ribs. That's just the way a dairy cow body is made. We all have a different body type. Dairy cows have a different body type than beef cattle. Beef cattle are big round cows. Beef cows are eating to stay healthy, pack on meat, and that's the meat we use to help feed the world. But dairy cow bodies are very, very different. Dairy cows will always have those big bony hips, and you can see those ribs because she's eating to stay healthy and then make milk, not meat. They'll always have those big bony hips. Now, dairy cows are ruminant animals. That means they have 4 stomach compartments. When a cow eats, she uses her long tongue to scoop up her food, and you want this? And basically swallow it whole. Cows do not have top teeth. They only have bottom teeth, and in the back they have grinders. So they use that long tongue, scoop up their food, and they swallow it. When they're resting, they will ruminate. If you saw her when you first walked up, she was chewing her cud. She was ruminating. So what they do is they regurgitate a portion of that food out of one of those 4 stomach compartments, pull it up into their mouth, chew it up and swallow it. Regurgitate again, chew it up and swallow it. It looks like they're chewing bubble gum. We call it chewing their cud. Their mouth goes around and around. They ruminate many hours during the day. As they are doing this, their body's extracting the nutrition they need to stay healthy. And then it's because of these big lumpy glands that you can see all over her tummy, all over her udder. These are her mammary glands. Mammal females have mammary glands to feed their babies milk. The mammal females produce milk because of mammary glands. Dogs and cats and humans and beef cattle and horses and goats feed their babies milk on a want and need basis because mammals have mammary glands. Dairy cows are different. Dairy cows have huge mammary glands, thousands and thousands of milk veins, making milk all of the time, making so much milk that we are able to help feed the world. But a dairy cow will only make milk after she has had her first baby. So yes, Hazel Grace is a mommy. It's only the mommies that produce milk. So on a dairy farm, when those calves are born, those calves stay with mom for about 48 hours, getting all of the colostrum that they need. Once mama's milk comes in, she's making 6 gallons of milk a day. Those calves only weigh 65 pounds. That is way too much milk for an animal that size. So it is up to the dairy farmer to protect the calves from overeating. So we keep those babies in the nursery, giving those babies a balanced diet. They get a bottle of milk for breakfast and a bottle of milk at dinner time. Protecting those dairy calves from overeating is a very important part of the dairy farmer's job, and taking care of mama's udder. Like I said, her udder can only hold so much, so we empty her udder twice a day, and I'll show you how we do that now. The first thing we do when the cows come in, they get a little bit of breakfast and they get washed down. This is just a bright red solution. We call it iodine, but it is bright red if you see it. And that just kills any germs that might be on her udder. Just like you wash your hands before you eat so you don't get germs inside of your body. I don't want germs to get inside of her body either. So we do that. We take a little bit of milk from each teat. We always give her something to eat. She loves this part of the day. This is a very relaxing part of her day because in between her milkings, her udder gets really full and really heavy. That's a lot of pressure. It can weigh an extra 30 to 35 pounds. That is a lot of pressure. So this is a very relaxing part of her day. So we turn on the milking pump. This milking claw has 4 parts because her udder is divided into 4 parts. She has 4 teats. Those teats are where the milk comes from. And there you see it. You can see the milk. It leaves her udder, goes through the tubes and into our weigh jar. On a typical morning or evening, it will take anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes to have about that much milk in the jar. 1 gallon of milk weighs 8.6 pounds. She'll typically have about 3 gallons of milk in her udder. So this is where your milk starts. This is where your cheese and your yogurt and your ice cream start from. But before this milk ends up on your lunch table or your dinner table, it has to be pasteurized and homogenized. After all of the mamas on the farm have been milked, that milk goes to stainless steel holding tanks never touched by human hands. That milk is heated to a high temperature. It's pasteurized to kill any germs or bacteria. Then your milk is homogenized. All of the cream molecules broken up and mixed together so that it's a nice fluid drinking milk. Once those 2 things happen, the cold tanker truck picks it up. Milk will always be tested for antibiotics, and no matter what brand you choose in the store, all milk in the store is antibiotic free. Then that milk is going to be packaged and sent to you. This happens really, really quickly. Milk is an all natural product. There are no additives in milk. There are no preservatives in milk to make the shelf life any longer. So we have to get this milk to you really quickly, and this is how fast it happens. The mamas on the farm are milked. That milk is pasteurized, homogenized, packaged, shipped, and delivered to your store in 48 hours. That's just 2 days. So the next time you go to the store, buy milk, and say to the person you're with that the milk in that container was in a dairy cow, just like Hazel Grace, just 2 days ago. That's how quickly it travels to you. And remember, get your 3 to 4 or more servings of dairy every single day for strong, healthy bones and teeth, healthy muscles, helps with muscle repair, gives us strong, healthy blood pressure, gives us strong, healthy bodies in so many ways. Strong, healthy teeth and bones, good for our overall immune system. And yes, milk is more hydrating than water. So if you enjoy your day at the Wheat Festival, get yourself an extra glass of milk to stay healthy and hydrated. Just 8 ounces of milk has 13 nutrients and vitamins. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Grab something. I have some bags and some notepads, and invite me to your school this fall. I'd love to come see every single one of you. Thank a dairy farmer. It's because of the dairy farmers that we are able to bring this to you. Thank you so much. This will be my last show today. I do think it was published that I had another one at 11, but I do have a family obligation at home. So thank you so much.
Over there. getting ready to go. The Bible says take care of your elders, so that's what we're doing. I'll be out of the wind. Oh yeah, that's right there. Oh, okay. I'm doing all right. How you doing? There you are. my stake started pulling out of this wet ground.
Okay.
And the thrash machine was rolling forward, and I was losing belt tension. And that's when the thrash machine started bogging down.
Well, I think you probably ought to cancel the last 1,000 acres you got lined up for graze.
You reckon?
Yeah, it's too wet.
Well, you can go out with your go kart and pull it in bundle by bundle.
Well, part of it's going to be getting it bound.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to get your horses out.
Well, binding should have been done the first week of June. You do that when the wheat's slightly green.
Had your wheat this year good?
60
Hey, I got free garden mulch. Load your own.
And it has some wheat in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only wheat we had on our farm was on Pat's grave. Just spread some wheat out of Memorial Day. I haven't had everything else is just in summer crop.
What happened? We crashed this last time here. I'll have to drive that down in the ground a little more. Pulling out.
All right. Okay, well, they're going to thrash again. He said about 1 o'clock, but I'm not going to wait that long. I got to see a little bit of the demonstration, so that's good enough. It's like 20 till 12. I think I'm going to go back to the car show just for a little bit and see if there's any more cars down there. And if there's not, then I'm probably done for the day. I got to, of course, the car show, the milk demonstration, and the wheat thrashing. I'm not going to go downtown. That's just where all the vendors are. So I think we're done for the day. Hope you enjoyed everything. When I get home and start doing the editing, I will put some music, YouTube approved music on the car show, and everything else should have sound. So unless I do another short little video on the car show, this might be it for the day. Hope you enjoyed this today. Turned out to be a really nice day. It wasn't real hot. Had a little bit of a breeze. It just made a nice, pleasant day today. And a lot of this stuff was in the shade, and that made it really nice. So, I think we're going to call it a day. Remember to go out and explore your world. Be safe. Have fun. Be aware of your surroundings. And just enjoy exploring your world. So I think the vlog's over for now. As always, we will see you on our next adventure, our next road trip adventure, our next video. In the meantime, just have fun and when you can, and just enjoy traveling and experiencing new things. So with that said, we'll see you on the next video. So goodbye for now.